All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Shawn Porter's team says that Terence Crawford is the fight that they want, that he is the type of guy that, that Terence Crawford needs to fight in order to prove himself in the welterweight division. Terence Crawford ain't gonna want to hear that, but let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Terence Bud Crawford, former #1 pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. And the reason that I say former, because this is my pound-for-pound we're talking about. The former is because I had to kick him up out of there because the dude ain't fighting nobody. All right? And that is the buzz around boxing. There are two huge stories in boxing right now. One is related to like somebody you would not believe would be in the hottest topic in boxing. Gary Russell Jr. and Devin Haney. The other hottest topic in boxing is the ducking of Terence Crawford of literally everybody in the welterweight division, man. And there ain't no way around it, man. There ain't no way around it. Shout out to my guy, Bernie the Boxer out of Omaha, Nebraska. Terence Crawford's camp, man. I enjoyed your video. Thank you very much for calling me out. I don't do Instagram debates. I really don't do debates unless it's somebody that I really just want to body for the fun of it. But nah, dog. Because there ain't no real argument here, man. I mean, I'm going to talk to you because I assume that you watch the video. But dude, there's just no argument that you can make, man. All of that, hey, I hear you, dude. And Bud's the dude. Bud's the dude in Nebraska. That's your guy. But man, come on, man. Anyway, we'll talk about that in another video. Sorry about that. But that's Bud's team. That's Bud's team trying to clown me. Well, not clowning me, man. They just was trying to, want to debate and chop it up. But no, because look, there's no argument, okay, whatsoever. Bud's not fighting anybody, all right? And so that's the background on it. In these videos, I like to do background. That's the background. What got us here? Bud ain't fighting nobody, and everybody in boxing knows it, okay? Your mama knows it. Your daddy knows it. Bud knows it. You know it. Everybody knows Bud ain't fighting nobody, man. Everybody knows Bud ain't fighting nobody. But look, there is a solution that is out there on the horizon for your boy Bud. Bernie, there is a solution. And the name is Shawn Showtime Porter. If you want people to stop talking smack about Terence Crawford, fight Showtime Shawn Porter. Did I say Shawn Showtime Porter? Showtime Shawn Porter. That's easy. That's what people have been telling you. But unfortunately, that's too much like right for y'all. And I don't get it. However, let's get into the video, man. Because Shawn Porter said, Shawn Porter's dad. Now, this is Shawn Porter's manager. This is Shawn Porter's father, trainer. This is Shawn Porter's father. This is Shawn Porter's friend. He lives right across. He lives right next door to the man. I think we can say at this point in time in the conversations we have about boxing on YouTube channels that Kenny Porter is speaking for Shawn Porter. And they were very, very clear that they think that that is a good fight. Now, Shawn Porter, and this is my 2 cents on it, what it looks like to me. Shawn Porter is the man. That's what he feels like. He feels like I'm the man. I'm the former IBF champion. I'm the former WBC champion. And yes, I've lost fights, but they were all contested. Nobody has ever just beat me down. Same thing goes for the Kell Brook fight. Shawn Porter, Kenny Porter let out some facts that I didn't think about. I didn't notice because I wasn't looking. But he was like, look, man, if you look at the Kell Brook fight, the referee that judged that fight never refereed another fight because they allowed the Kell Brook to hold. And I do remember there was a lot of holding and all that stuff. But I looked at the fight a second time. And I was like, man, that fight was a lot closer than I thought it was. You know what I mean? So same thing goes with his loss to Keith Thurman. That was a very, very close fight, contested fight. And by the way, against those 2 losses were against the guys that people thought were the number 1 and number 2. Either way you want to go at welterweights in the world. That's what Shawn Porter was able to do. Shawn Porter beat Danny Garcia, who's about to fight for the WBC championship. right? He fought Errol Spence Jr. in the most competitive fight Errol Spence Jr.'s had in his career, right? So Shawn Porter feels like, look, I'm established in the weight division. He does not feel, or at least from my impression of what Kenny said and what my impression is of what pretty much everybody, because it ain't just some people, homie, it's everybody is saying that that Shawn Porter has put in the work at 147 and Terence Crawford has not put the work in at a 147 pounds. And it would be much better for Shawn Porter to fight somebody in that category of fighters so that he can be proven to be something significant in the welterweight division. Okay? Now, there was a lot of conversation going on about in Terence Crawford's Instagram, man. I'm still kind of like, wow, man, it was so cool. Because that dude Bernie's a smart guy, man. Terence Crawford, he's a smart guy. He knows his history, right? He's like, look, Bud ain't old. They were rejecting all kind of points that were coming up that people were bringing up in the comment section, very validly too, right? So, for example, my man said, look, people telling me that Bud's too old and all that, I don't want to hear it. Talked about Archie Moore and how long, how old Archie Moore was when he won the belt, how old he was and how long he held it at lightweight, right? Saying if Archie Moore can fight at that age, man, Terence Crawford ain't nowhere near old. You ain't gonna, the time ain't ticking out on him, right? So very good. I mean, I agreed with that. I don't think that age is gonna be an issue with Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford ain't got no wear and tear because he ain't fighting nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course he's gonna be able to fight forever if he keeps fighting tomato cans, right? Like, what do you mean? If your boxing career can last a very long time, if you beaten up, if you the champion of the YMCA Women's League, shoot, you might be able to box for 50 years and never go nowhere, So, of course, Terence Crawford ain't aging out because he's not fighting nobody. He's not getting any wear and tear, none of that stuff on him because he's fighting subpar competition. And that's just what it is, okay? It's subpar competition when you compare it to what everybody else is doing, okay? And now, I don't like to get into, well, I'm not even going to do that. I could do that, but I won't do that. I'll save that unless I have to do that at a certain point in time, but I won't do it now. Let's just keep it like this. Blue Blood Sports TV. This is an example because Terence Crawford's team not only was going in on me, they were actually going primarily in on Blue Blood, less so on me, but it was like, Fanon, it's like, Blue Blood, where you at? Fanon, where you at? Blue Blood, where you at? Fanon, where you at? Blue Blood, where you at? Fannin, where you at? See, like, eventually it just went down, right? Like, they called me, they said my name the right way, like maybe 2 or 3 times, and after that, it was like, oh, you're not as familiar with me because you keep calling me Fannin. So your beef might really be with Blue Blood. Now, the reason you might say, well, why, Fanon, are you bringing that up in the middle of this video? Because what do I care? Well, if you pay any attention to Blue Blood Sports TV in my channel, you will remember that there was a debate between me and Blue Blood Sports TV on my channel about Bud Crawford and Errol Spence, about this very subject. And my position was 2 years ago, because it was 2 years ago, that Bud got to call out Errol Spence. The world doesn't revolve around Terence Crawford. If Terence Crawford don't want to fight, if Terence Crawford doesn't call for a fight with Errol Spence or want a fight with Errol Spence can go on and fight Shawn Porter. He can fight whoever he wants to fight, right? Because Shawn Porter at the time, Shawn Porter had a belt, all that good stuff, right? Blue Blood Sports TV's take was, no, Terence Crawford's being ducked. He's the real boogeyman of the division, and that's who Errol Spence needs to fight him. He needs to buck all this side of the street stuff. He needs to bump all that side of the street stuff. You need to do that, right? So Blue Blood and I had our back and forth, right? And I won't give into what the details of it, but suffice it to say, 2 years later, I won. Because now Blue Blood is making the exact same argument to you that I was making to him 2 years ago. So be careful who you bash. You know what I mean? Because Blue Blood did not turn to telling people that Terence Crawford ain't fighting anybody just because he decided that, just because he decided that he didn't like Terence Crawford. He started saying that Terence Crawford ain't fighting nobody because the overwhelming majority of fans know that to be true, and you will look crazy if you are trying to say anything other than that, because it is obvious that you're not fighting anybody. Okay? Now, why I respect you, ain't no anecdotal evidence getting around this. Jeff Horn, Jose Benavidez, Amir Khan, and Aegis Kalvanakis. Nobody is going to forget that those are the last 4 guys that he fought, and nobody thinks that that is legitimate competition for Bud. Okay? Nobody is confusing any of those 4 people for Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, Ugas, none of them. Because those are the people, those fighters are the fighters that people believe are the best welterweights, and they see that Terence is not fighting them. So all of the comedy, because it was great comedy, it's fun. I wish I had some Ring Magazine belts to show you, ooh, you like that ring? You like that ring? No, I don't like the ring. I hate ring. Okay, bro? No, I hate the ring belts. I think that they're crap. And I think, matter of fact, I think the ring belts are a problem. Okay? Because if you don't tote the ring belt, you got to tote that WBO belt. And everybody knows about that WBO belt is whatever Bob orders that people keep running games through, man. But again, man, like I said, man, I love it, man. That was hilarious. It was hilarious. But look, Shawn Porter is saying he wants to fight you. Terence Crawford's people are saying that he's not worth 1.5. Well, shit, is Shawn worth 1.5, man? Like, is Shawn worth 1.5? Come on, man. Dude, you got to fight somebody, Bud. Just fight somebody. Okay? We're going to hashtag Bud Just Fight. Bud Just Fight. Okay? You're going to have to get out of your plan in order to shut people up. You're going to have to get off that plan because everybody knows what the plan is. Okay? The plan is not to fight anybody until you fight Errol. Okay? So the secret meetings that you and Bo Mac and Brian, all you guys is having in the secret room, drawing up your little angles and how you're going to take over the world, dog. Everybody's in the room. Everybody sees it. We know what you're doing. So you can't do that. The play is over. Okay? The play is over. You don't want to fight Kell Brook. If you don't want to fight Kell Brook, then you don't deserve an Errol Spence Jr. fight, man. Like, straight up. Like, if you don't want to fight Shawn Porter, if you don't want to fight Keith Thurman, if you don't want to fight Shawn Porter, if you don't want to fight Ugas, if you don't want to fight them, you don't deserve an Errol Spence Jr. fight. Because you don't want to prove you're the best. You just want to prove you're better than Errol Spence Jr. You don't want to prove you're better than Shawn Porter. You don't want to prove you're better than Danny Garcia. You don't want to prove that you're better than Ugas. You just want to say you're better because what you did at 135 and 140 against guys half their size. They ain't feeling it, dog. Ain't nobody scared of Bud, man. Bud, you got to make people scared of you, dog. You got to prove yourself, man. Just like Kenny Porter, dog, you got to prove yourself at 140. And it is what it is. And with that, I'm out. Peace and respect to Omaha, Nebraska. I love y'all. You know I do. Peace.